The great glory of the nonprofit sector is that anyone can look at any problem and say, I'm going to start an organization to fix that. I mean, that's how Habitat for Humanity started. That's how Doctors Without Borders started, all the great nonprofits. So that's the great glory of the nonprofit sector. The great curse of the nonprofit sector is that anyone can look at any problem and say, I'm going to start an organization to fix that. So we have all of these, we're over 2 million nonprofit organizations now, many of which are overlapping in what they do, others of which leave big gaps that they should be covering, all of whom are tripping over each other fundraising. And it is, one of these days people might sit down and say, now, wait a minute, why are there 6 organizations in my community all dedicated to homelessness, relief, and yet people are still homeless? What's going on here? So we need to find some way to keep the sector open to social entrepreneurs, but to make sure that they don't start the 7th or the 8th homelessness relief organization in town, because if 6 didn't solve it, 7 won't solve it either. On the philanthropy side, it is this stubborn refusal of so many in philanthropy to actually learn good practice in philanthropy. Somehow they seem to feel that maybe their great wisdom means that they don't need to, or experience means they don't need to learn basic stuff. I get phone calls every week from people who have another horror story to tell about foundations. One recently, for example, was right here in Grand Rapids. It was she was encouraged to write a big proposal to fund a suburban school district. And when she handed it in to the very person who had encouraged her to do it, the person glanced at it and said, oh, we're only doing City of Grand Rapids. We're not supporting any suburban districts. Well, you knew that when you encouraged me to write the proposal. What kind of amateurish thing is that? So, unless foundations clean up their act and begin to act in a more professional and respectful fashion, I think nonprofits and grantees at some point are going to not boycott because they all need the money, but they might complain to their congresspeople who, having nothing better to do, apparently, would say, gosh, foundations are not behaving well, and look at them. They're a big old bunch of money that we're not taxing. So how about some sort of a punitive tax on foundations? Can happen. Happened in 1969. It can happen again.